everybody, I'm joining you I'm joining you this morning on Saturday, and do you guys know how often like you're the first people I'm talking to in the morning outside of my cat? It's like I get up and I'm like, good morning, Becky. But the first time I really get going is up here with you all. And it's Saturday and it's early, but I just thought this would be a good time to do it, and I went to bed last night thinking, oh, I want to do an all drugstore get ready with me tomorrow, and so I was excited to do it when I got up. This is from Catrice. This is the Prime and Fine Smoothing Refiner. It says for invisible pores and lines, and I was talking about this in a recent video. Makeup that seems more expensive than it is. This is a really beautiful texture on this primer. It's kind of thick, but yet it sort of melts into your skin, and I see an actual difference once I start putting it on. Like it kind of mattifies, it blurs a little bit in terms of pores. So how have you guys been doing? What's the deal with your New Year's resolutions? Are you keeping them? Are you struggling with them? Well, I can tell you one small, very specific thing I've been doing and kind of struggling with is no night snacking. So once we finish dinner, it's like no snacking. I think it might be known as like a 12-hour fast or something, where you don't eat for another 12 hours. So in the morning it's like no big deal. For example, I was really craving a snack last night at say around 8:30 or so. But now here I am up and it's like 6 o'clock and I'm not even the least bit hungry. That's always the way it goes for me in the early morning though. But I've been doing that for a week now. So yeah, I'm doing all right. What I'm hoping is that it's one of those things that's gonna become such a habit that it's gonna get easier and easier, you know? Because food-wise, I just think that's where I really do myself in, is it's not like I'm always eating a lot, but I'm always reaching for something, usually something that probably makes me wake up bloated. And yeah, I'm still nursing, and breastfeeding makes me really hungry and thirsty and all that. But if I'm honest with myself, I still feel like I don't truly need that night snack. And Tyler's doing the same thing, which helps a lot, because when you're both on the same page, you don't have one person tempting the other. Okay, so my skin is all prepped, and now I'm gonna use something really random here. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Shine Free Balance Foundation. So there's stick foundation. This was one of the first ever Beauty Broadcast Express reviews that I ever did, was on this product. Actually, not this specific one since I repurchased it recently. But the reason why I repurchased it was ahead of the Emily Awards. I was thinking about stick foundations, and there's all these different ones from high-end, but the drugstore hasn't really jumped on that train as much as high-end brands have. But this one's been out for a while, and I thought I'd retry it, and I wasn't feeling necessarily super strongly about it. Obviously, it didn't win an Emily Award, but I'm still in this mode of wanting to see what it's got, you know? So I'm using that today, and I am in Classic Ivory. The line runs a little bit dark, so I'm not always ivory when I buy stuff, but here I am. So just drawing that on all over, and then I'm gonna use my little Real Techniques guy here. It's just handy. Of course, right as I start blending my foundation out, my memory card fills up. Oh, we're talking about New Year's resolutions. I hadn't really decided about that no night snacking thing right off the bat. You know, I went into the year with a vague, like, I want to get really fit this year resolution. And that one just kind of stumbled in maybe about a week late, but that's fine. And then one thing I have been doing, I actually started this on Christmas. And this is something that I've done periodically, and I've done different like books and things that kind of guide you through it and whatnot. But something I'm really aiming to keep up consistently just on my own, doesn't take anything special, is journaling / gratitude journaling every single day. And I started on Christmas and I'm keeping it going. Done it every day since. I really like to do it in the morning, and I don't know, I'll write a little bit about what's going on, you know, what the latest big thing of the day that I did was or whatever. Sometimes I write a little, sometimes I write a lot, but no matter what, every day I include 3 things that I'm grateful for. And that could be little things, huge things, just whatever, but it always needs to be something different. And according to one of Oprah's life class people, if you keep stuff like that up for 21 days or whatever, you create a habit of positive thinking. I feel like I'm a pretty positive person in general, but you know, you can always use more gratitude, and the habit of practicing gratitude in your life, it is something that you actually need to practice. And it really is cool, because instead of going through your days and like, I don't know, there are days where you just set off more easily. Don't we all have those days where it's like, something small just gets on your last nerve, you know, and you're gonna just be a little irritable. Yeah, you'll still have that. But I mean, more often than not, I find myself going through my day looking for things and thinking about things in such a way where I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a great thing to write in my gratitude journal, you know, like, oh my gosh, this snow falling today looks so gorgeous. That's going in the gratitude journal. Or like Eve came over to Belle when she was sitting on her little chair and just laid her head down in her lap and it was the sweetest thing ever. Like, that's moments, you know, you're looking at moments, small, big, just whatever comes to mind, but you make it something different every day, 3 different things. And I think that's what it's all about. It affects your daily mindset in terms of what you're looking for in the world, because you will find what you're looking for. You know, if you're looking for negative and somebody's, you know, crocking over here, if you're looking for that stuff, you will probably find it. But if you're also looking for positive and good and happy and soul-filling, you will find that too. So that's what I love about the daily gratitude journaling. And it doesn't have to be complicated. You can do it on your phone, on the Notes app. You can do it on just any random notebook you can find in your house. But anyway, I'm doing it, I'm loving it, and no joke, I think it's life-changing. So anyway, moving along here, I'm going to do some concealer. This is that Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Conceal and Contour in C4. And this is real similar in terms of the claims and stuff that Tarte Shape Tape has. I'm not calling this a dupe, but you know, they kind of claim to do the same sort of stuff on your face. And I'm going to use this as my concealer today. And I've been using this for on and off for a couple weeks. And I feel like it's definitely thinner than Shape Tape, for sure. Like, it's a more lightweight texture. And I'm putting this anywhere I want to brighten because, as you can see, the shade is a bit light. And then I take sort of a fluffy brush and go over it here. But the coverage, to continue my thought there, the coverage is really pretty good. Like, I think it's covering actually really well. And what I need to do is find, oops, I got a little on my lower inner rim there. I need to locate a shade of this that's like an exact match to the shade of Shape Tape that I normally use, and then really do some hardcore side-by-sides. But it's more lightweight, yet it's really good coverage. That may play well for a lot of people who have struggled with Shape Tape and thinking it's dry. Me, I really haven't had that issue with Shape Tape so much, but I feel like this, you can kind of get away with using a little more if you like to use more. Like, I feel pretty full covered right now. I still see a little bit of dark circle. You know, you hold your head just right, you'll find the dark circle. You'll find what you're looking for, like I said earlier, right? So stuff like that kind of makes me wonder, is it quite as full cover as Shape Tape? But you know what, I'm gonna leave it at that concealer wise, and I'm gonna bake it, and we'll just see like how the look develops. Got my Maybelline Fit Me here. Shake it up. I got Fair, shade Fair. I love this powder. I think it does a really good job, and I just pat right here, get all up in that lovely area. But no, I have had really good luck with this powder. It works quite well. And this particular shade, like, you end up feeling really brightened, really mattified, perfected. Not that you have to bake with it. I'm going for it today. I just feel like it. But you can also just lightly put a little on with a brush. I wouldn't call it a Laura Mercier powder dupe, but I would call it definitely up there. It's, you know, it's doing good things. You might sometimes see me holding Princess coffee mugs. I got a set of these, like, I don't know, it was when Belle was really little, and one has just Belle on it, and then one has the princesses. And I think I got them from like TJ Maxx or Ross or something. You know, those are places where you go in and yeah, maybe you have one need, but you come out with like all this other stuff. And so when the kid's like 1.5, I'm buying her coffee mugs, like in anticipation of the days when she'll be using coffee mugs, knowing full well that's a long ways off, but I went ahead and bought them anyway. And look at me, I'm just using them in the interim. Let's talk about brows for a second. I got something here when I did my little, like, it was my birthday night and Tyler and I ended up at Ulta. I don't know. I just don't know how that happens, people. But this is the Allure and Vegas Nay Brow and Shadow Pro Palette. So she has this, and then I later went on to purchase the Brow Highlighter and Shadow Palette because I realized Like, this is a substantial palette, right? There's a lot in here. This is a brow primer, kind of like wax down here at the end. But then all these brow shades that I guess can also be eyeshadows. So they've devoted a lot of space to shadow in here, right? It's like an Urban Decay naked sized palette. But I guess strategically, there is no highlighter shade here. Like, you're gonna give all this stuff, but then nothing that can be like that underbrow highlight. Or the issue I ran into was I was trying to use this for a full eyeshadow look and I was without the highlight. And they claim it's a brow and shadow palette. Oh, but here's where they got you. They've made a separate palette for brow highlighter and shadow shades. So there you go. A separate palette just for the little bit of shadow you're gonna put up under your brow, and then maybe a couple deeper shades that you could work into a shadow look. We're gonna use them today. I'm gonna quit my crocking about it, but it does come with a nice angled brush and spoolie. And then another good point about this is that the brow primer is in here. So I'm gonna run my brush through some of that and just get it going in my brows, so that way the shadows have a little something to cling to. I've always said brow colors, brow shadows, if you're using a shadow, it's got to have a little something on there to cling to. And then I think I'm going to start off with this shade called Cappuccino. It's a very taupey kind of shade, but I'm going to work that in. Oh, it's a little darker. It goes on a little darker than you'd think, actually. Right here in the front of the brow. Another brow thing I've been experimenting with, which is kind of cool. You know, it makes a lot of sense, but again, it's just powder and they're lacking some sort of way for it to cling into your brows. But it's that Benefit product that looks like an eyebrow. It's like the pan of shadow is shaped like an eyebrow, and the first half is a lighter shade and the second half is a deeper shade, because you usually, you know, go a little lighter on the inner part of your brow and darker on the middle and the tail. Let's work on that tail, shall we? I'm going to use Hot Chestnut for that. Nice, cool, dark brown. My tail. These shadows, or these products in here, are really pigmented. I just don't understand why they couldn't throw us a bone with one light shade, like highlighter shade, because that would make this so much more well-rounded as an eyeshadow palette. What shade did I use at first? Cappuccino, I think it was. Cappuccino. Speaking of cappuccino, I got the best like Keurig coffee sampler. My parents, like, every Christmas I get some sort of thing, and it's like this best ever variety pack of stuff for the Keurig. Like, if you like things that are coffee but also beyond coffee, like teas, hot chocolates, cappuccinos, apple ciders, things like that, it is so cool and so much fun. You know, I'll do a coffee in the morning always, but sometimes later in the day I'll get something a little bit fun. If it's still available, I'll have to link below to what they ended up getting me, because it has been absolutely delicious and there's so many random things in there. Like yesterday I had a red velvet latte or something while watching Muppet Family Christmas on a snow day with my children. That's what I'm talking about. Now, snow day, I guess we use that term loosely. It was just snowing. That's all it takes to be a snow day in my book. My kids aren't quite to the age where they're getting out of school for it, you know? But we just declare it a snow day. We stay in pajamas, watch fun stuff on TV. Did you have any snow day traditions as a kid? Like, did it really, really excite you when school would let out for a snow day when you were younger? Because it did me. Like, I was super pumped about it. Part of it too was that my dad, all through elementary school and junior high, my dad was my principal, so he would know right away, like when the superintendent called, he'd be the first to know that school was indeed going to be canceled, and we would both get so excited about it and just, you know, really have a good time. You know, the hot chocolate, sit around the wood-burning fire. It was just a wonderful situation. Now, what do I do with this? Because I don't really want to use it as my eyeshadow today. I want to use something else. So we'll just so you know, this is where the highlighters are in their separate dang palette. But yesterday I made Belle her first, well, it's not her first grilled cheese. She's eaten a whole lot of that. But her first time eating grilled cheese and tomato soup together, dipping, it's important. Yes, she did that and she loved it. And Eve likes it too. Eve will try to eat every dang thing that Belle goes after with her 2 teeth. The other day, Belle walked into the room and she had a like little bowl full of some pretzels, and Eve freaking tackled the bowl. Like, she grabbed what she had one in her mouth so fast, and I'm like, you can't, like, yeah, maybe it might eventually dissolve, but that's a choking hazard I don't think I'm gonna risk. I'm gonna do a little bronzer. This is the Lottie London Tan Time bronzer. Tan Time in light medium. It's actually a pretty dark bronzer, but I remember liking this, and I haven't really powdered all over on the skin, just the places where I baked, by the way. This is actually like 6 a.m. date night makeup because I am gonna be having a date night tonight, and I am hoping this makeup lasts me the entire day. I can't remember which magazine's Twitter feed was making a big deal of this, but apparently Kendall Jenner, when she does her bronzer and she goes in her cheekbones, she pinched her brush, and they thought that was just the most amazing thing ever. I mean, it is a good idea, but I think that's funny. But look at me, now I'm doing it. And I don't even need to do it with this brush. Quality bronzer here. For blush, I'm also gonna use Lottie London. This is the Blush Crush in Drake. I really like this blush a lot. See, look at that. It's like really pigmented, but yet this is a very approachable shade. And then, I just talked about this in a video, but the Butter Highlight in pink from Physicians Formula. Take a little bit of this, and then just like, very lightly, I kind of start small and then work out a little bit over the apple of the cheek. And it's like you got this beautiful radiance suddenly right there. It's a blush topper, y'all. That's what this is. And then I'm going to use something that my girl Erica Jones sent my way. How exciting is this? Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Palette. Yeah, this is fun. 4 tones. I'm going to do this one up here. Not that I really need more glow even on top of what's on the apple of my cheeks, but I want to just play with this a little bit. Watch out, Saturday 6 in the morning world. Frostier than that frozen sleet on my doorstep. I like this though. I'm trying to keep it light and kind of buffed in, but that's pretty. Now she also sent this Prime and Fine from Catrice Multi-Talent Fixing Spray, probably because she thinks I'm multi-talented. And it smells so good. You might think like it's purple, so it's gonna smell like lavender, but that's not really what it smells like. It just smells fresh. Like, what do you smell like? Like a body mist that I'd used way back in the day. Like, it has a light, very pleasing, not overwhelming scent. But I swear it reminds me of some classic body spray I used to wear. Scents do that. Scents really take you back. Like when you smell something that's even like a little bit kind of like something you used to wear, it doesn't matter how long ago it was. Like your mind will make the connection. Just had a burp cough happen there, sorry. So here's the deal, guys. Here's what I'm itching to use and dig into more. I found the newly formulated Wet n Wild quads and also these bigger palettes. Well, this was the only one, legit the only one in stock was this shade in this Not a Basic Peach, so I could use that right now. I also have Walking on Eggshells, which I had a little demo with that in my last video, so I won't use that. Petalette, this plummy one, or I've got Silent Treatment, which doesn't look just like the old Silent Treatment did, but that's okay. I think I'm going to use this one. It offers the most opportunity. And Wet n Wild gets their palettes stuck down on like 2 sides, and I'm not going to complain about that because I don't like my stuff getting compromised in the drugstore. I don't like to see people busting into palettes and swatching them, and now it can't be purchased by anyone. So I respect you for this Wet n Wild, even though it is a bit of a pain in the butt. I think I almost broke the hinge off that thing. Oh, and you know what? Gonna also use my Wet n Wild eyeshadow primer. It's like I said, turning over a new leaf, trying to experiment with some new products. I have been experimenting with the Marc Jacobs one that I said I would too. We're all about drugstore in this video. Plus it'll be nice just to see how it pairs with the brand's eyeshadows. Kind of sticky, like it's not quite as silky gliding across the lids. I don't necessarily have a problem with that because shadow will no doubt cling to it well, but it's taking some time. What I'm gonna do is start off with this kind of beigey color here, and I'm using this IT Cosmetics brush, the Superhero 4-in-1. I'm using it in its most fluffed out state there. So you can see I've got a little like light creasiness going. This is a very light shade, so I'm kind of surprised it's giving me any contrast. I'm gonna go ahead and use this light shade up under my brow. One thing I really like to do when I have the opportunity is to just use a palette on my eyes before swatching, because it's most important what it's capable of doing on the eyes. That's the #1 thing. I don't like it when people get overly consumed with the way a palette swatches before they've ever attempted anything with it on their eyes. It just doesn't make sense. Now I'm making the brush a little smaller to the crease size, and I think I'm going to use some of this right here. That picked up nicely, so I'm working some of that into my crease. I think I might just have to order the other palettes if I want to try them anyway. Order them off of Wet n Wild's website, because clearly my Walgreens was out of stock, and I thought I was on it, you know? I thought I was Johnny on the spot. Like, I had looked for them before, I hadn't seen them. Wait a couple weeks, go back, there's one left. But they did have all those quads. Now I want to use a flat brush, and gosh, what shade should I use? I'm kind of intrigued by this color right here, this sort of mauve with gold shimmer. Can't quite tell what it's doing. It's looking more matte than I expected as it's laying down on the lid. This is kind of a cool unexpected color combo. You know, the warm brown, the dusty plum. It's like a version of the look that I really like, but just a little more muted. And I'll pull in a little bit of this lightest shade right here. Just a bit of this dark brown. We want to see what that's made of, right? Outer corner. Now for Christmas, the lovely Kristen Game gave me several beautiful Wayne Goss brushes. One of them here is number 20, and it's like a small crease brush, and I always crave a really nice small crease brush, and I've been liking this just for pulling the shadow out exactly where I want it in an outer corner. I just took a little bit more brown on my brush to do that. It's a really soft, nice feeling brush though, like it's very luxurious. Then I'm using this 19 brush, which kind of reminds me of Sigma's E36 a little bit, only it's thicker and bigger, you know, but I'm using it for the same type of purpose, I guess. And I'm taking that shade right here, this color called Transition. And this looks just becoming a little deeper than I expected it would, but I kind of like it. Here's a major shot my stash moment. I found this Jordana eyeliner called Cat Eyeliner. I don't even remember when I got this, but the shade is black brown. It's not pure black, it's black brown. You know, I'm trying to distance myself a little bit from black. Yeah, distance myself about 1 inch from it, right? I just don't want a loud color with this particular eye look, okay? The brush is really similar to Color Envy. I think I will wing it out some. I'm really wanting a nice solid line because I have a fun lash that I'm going to try today that I also got on my birthday. Then I'm going to use my Ultimate Brow Highlight here in the lower inner rim waterline area. And then on the lower lash line, I'm going to start on the outside with the dark brown. And then maybe for a little something fun going inward, I'll try this. This shade is like coral with gold sparkle. Next up, I'm just going to curl my lashes. Tweezerman Pro Curl Lash Curler, by the way. Swear by it. Love it. Better than anything ever. I had a really crazy thought this morning while I was nursing Biddy. We call her Biddy, or Little Bit. I was feeding her this morning, and I was opening Instagram on my phone, and I see this video of Britney Spears, and she's all about like trying on different dresses. She appears to be maybe in her home, I guess, and she's like voguing for the camera. She's like spinning around and having like seemingly the best time ever. Like she seems like she is really living her best life, like loving every minute of it, and she's just trying on various skimpy dresses for the camera, like skimpy, you know? And it's just this total montage of her doing that. And I'm thinking, like, what if one day, out of the freaking blue, I showed up on my Instagram page doing that? Like, how would my audience react? Would y'all be like, what in the world are you doing? Or would you just, like, applaud me for that? Or laugh your head off? That's what's gonna happen, y'all. I'm gonna be like, okay, it's been 6 months and I haven't snacked at nighttime. I'm gonna celebrate by putting on skimpy dresses on Instagram. I'm joking. I don't really see me doing that at any point. Old Faithful here on the lower lashes. Do I even need to say what it is? Well, I will in case you're new here. It's CoverGirl Clump Crusher Water Resistant. But you know what? A Skimpy Clothes Instagram shoot would not literally even be possible in my house because I'm thinking, okay, unless I just want to get the house totally to myself and do it. Like, can you imagine the hysterical laughter if Tyler walked into that? Or you've got 2 little kids like crawling into the shot, like wondering what the heck is mommy doing here in front of the mirror. I've been trying to hit my innermost lower lashes a little bit better because I feel like I never paid attention to those for like years. Now these are the lashes that I have here, again from the Vegas Nay line. They are called, what are they called? Absolute Allure. And I really like how they're so long in the middle and they're tapered at both ends. So they're gonna be really eye-opening, I think. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put these on and give my camera a little rest here, give my memory card a break from filling up, and then I'll be back with the finished look and we'll do some lips. You guys, I don't know if I can do this. These lashes, they are a total flop for me. I have never tried a false lash so straight. What the heck? They're straight. There's like no curl to them at all. So I've got this one on here and it's like poking down, like it's really full. It's a beautiful cut, but it's just, no, it's not happening. Gotta find another lash. I'll be back. Okay, I put on a random lash that I have up here that I don't really like. I am not nuts about this lash look. This lash was kind of also very hard to work with, although it is curled. It's just huge and long and just, I don't know. I'm not a fan. It's Kleancolor Angelic Wink number 118. Just a super cheap lash. And the other lashes that I would have naturally gone for, like they're downstairs because I take them off, you know, at my bathroom sink, and I just didn't have any others I really wanted to wear. I had high hopes for these. I thought these were going to be perfect, but that's okay. If I keep like the inner part kind of tipped down, they look a little bit better, but I don't know. Let's move on to lips. We're going to do Ardell, and it's their matte whipped lipstick, liquid lipstick. I was playing with a deeper shade of this the other day, and I actually really liked how it felt, and it wore decently well. Like really dark shades of liquid lipstick are always gonna, I don't know, I think come off a little patchy eventually. But this, I thought, kind of would look nice with the eye color on my lid. It goes on very liquidy. I don't really get the whip name because it doesn't seem whipped like, for example, the Julep does. But Ardell has come out with a ton of eye and lip products, so if you want more info, let me know, because I've got a lot to try. It's just standard doe foot applicator on this, by the way. Really love that color. I hope it doesn't dry down to something way, way darker than that though, because I really like that shade. So there's my get ready with me for today. The foundation, I really do think it goes on well. I'm gonna pay close attention to how this wears throughout the day, but I thought it was actually pretty decent coverage and it paired nicely with the Makeup Revolution concealer. Like that combo I thought gave me really nice coverage overall. The color products on the face, the Lottie London bronzer and blush, I've used those before and I really like them. The Wet n Wild, this new palette, I'm not over the moon with it. Like I think it definitely has some pretty shades and I thought certain ones definitely blended out easily. The shimmers, sorry, I'm just like combing through my hair with my fingers. The shimmers that I used in here weren't quite as brilliant as I would have expected given Wet n Wild's older formulation. Like they weren't quite as metallic as I expected them to be, but I thought the mattes did pretty well. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had fun. I definitely did. I love doing these get ready with me videos and I will see you very soon. Bye. So just a little follow-up on the makeup and the staying power and everything. I switched up my lip color, by the way. This is from the Kathleen Lights, the new collection. It's the satin lip and then with the gloss over it. I think that's really pretty. I did change out my lashes because that other set was just really annoying me. They were starting to come up. I couldn't deal with those. These are the Huda Beauty Samantha lashes. I only just slightly touched up a little bit with powder on my forehead and nose, so a little T-zone area there, but overall I feel like the longevity of the makeup has been really good. Another thing was, even though that shadow that I put on my lower lash line seemed to have a lot of sparkle in it. I didn't notice that really like transferring down onto my cheek at all, so that was good news as well. The liquid lip color that I had on earlier I thought wore off pretty quickly. I had some leftover Thai food for lunch and breakfast, and it really broke it down fast. I don't know. I think that's to be expected. It's just, you know, whatever you're putting a product through, sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. So that's my follow-up for the look, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.